What up, world? We're back. This is another episode of the Cloud Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Blaze, man. I'm here with a very special guest, man, new friend, film producer, filmmaker, actor, and director. I want everybody to give a big shout out to Brent Crable and welcome him to the show. Bah, 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 bah. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
What's
you.
going on, buddy?
What's up?
Man, I
Johnny
appreciate you joining me
Blaze.
today.
What a hell of a name.
Yeah.
Hell of a
Yeah,
name
hey,
and a hell of a
man,
name for a podcast. I like it. The Cloud Chronicles. It's good. It's catchy, you know?
Hey man, I thought of it and it came to me and I jotted it down on my phone so I didn't forget because it was like 2 years ago I started thinking about doing it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know how those ideas are in the films.
If you don't write it down, I can't tell you how many film ideas I've had that I may have been in the Cloud Chronicles myself and didn't write it down, and it's
right.
Then you're like, damn. But anyways, man, it's great to be on the show. Yeah, I'm Brent Crable. I'm from the Dallas area.
Right.
With the school in Arlington, and I've been doing comedy and film stuff for a long time. And then last year, I finally was just like, man, I was doing comedy at Dallas Comedy House, and I was writing. I started getting into sketch writing, and I was like, man, this might be my avenue. Like, I can act, but I can write really well. But then they would just die on stage, and I was like, man, let's film these, and then let's make them more not like a dumb sketch. Let's do movies. And I found the crew, and man, last year was crazy. We made 4 films, 4 short films, and a TV show pilot. And, obviously we're geared for big stuff this year, and, we all know what happens. I mean, we don't have to beat a dead horse, but kind of put a halt on it. But yeah, man, it was cool to produce, to write, to direct, to act, to do stuff that was in my mind, and then to watch it and to watch other people enjoy it is, man, it's crazy so it's like now, like, I don't know if I could see myself going and just trying to be an actor and going and auditioning for other people's stuff. Cause I'm kind of like, man, I like my own stuff. I like my own ideas, So
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of how I got into the podcast. I was on as an interview with Juan, and we hit it off, and his old podcast partner was going through it, and I ended up jumping on this year and taking over, and, we've parlayed that into, now we both host a virtual dating show on YouTube called The Pitch. So,
okay. I didn't know anything about that. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Check it out.
So, I bring, Deep Bro Films is where you can find all my films, and then I'll have a double podcast, and then The Pitch dating show. So yeah, man, we're doing kind of quite a bit, which has been cool.
Yeah, gotta stay busy, bro. Tell everybody what the name of your podcast is. We didn't get to talk about the name of that.
Yeah. The podcast is I'll Have a Double podcast, and you can find us wherever you find your podcast, Apple, Spotify. Those are the main 2. But everywhere, literally everywhere you find podcasts, you can find our podcast. Yeah, man, and it's it's been fun. You get it doing a podcast. It's it kind of keeps you fresh. You gotta have something every time you come, along with an interview, but also you got to have some other, and it's, it keeps the mind fresh. I feel like.
Yeah. It kind of keeps you from like just not doing it. Keeps that mind, like you said, just the gears clicking, so to speak.
Yeah. And I don't know if you saw this, but it was a pretty famous tweet that I think it came out last week or whatever. This girl said, she said, why do men start podcasts instead of going to therapy? And
that's funny.
It was funny, and I was like, dang. But then I was like, well, it's one of those things where sometimes you do start getting into a conversation, and you're like, man, this is kind of therapeutic in a way. You talk about some stuff, you get it out or whatever, and well, somebody clapped back and said, I don't know, the same reason why women get OnlyFans and don't get a real job. And so,
shot.
Shots.
Yeah. I like it. I like it though.
It was good, man. It was good. But yeah, man, as far as the film stuff goes, one of the things I also thought about was like to make a film, you do have to, you got to have a crew, right? You got to have somebody working the camera. You got to have sound.
Right.
You got to have someone that can edit it. You got to have a lot of things for the short film, and sometimes it's not easy to just find that, right? Luckily, I've been in
Right.
the industry and known, and my mom's in the industry, and they were filming, commercials and stuff, and met this guy that had this amazing camera, and he was just doing stuff for money, but not really stuff. And then I, started making some decent money with my day job, and was like, well, like, if you want something done right, you got to pay somebody, right? And I was like, let's
Right.
do this
Right.
for real. Let's
Right.
pay everybody. Let's get a crew. Let's do this. Everybody's taking it serious, and I think that's why we've had so much success. We've won over 100 awards between the 4 movies,
Damn.
all over the world. Um, and to be up, and to go somewhere. I was at a film festival last year, and somebody was talking to me about their movie that they had been, this and that, and they asked me, and I was like, yeah, man, we did, 4. They were like, wait, you did 4 short films this year? And I was like, yeah, we've
Yeah.
done 4 since, man. We've done 4 in like the last 5 months. And they were just like, what?
Damn.
And to me, I wasn't even really thinking about it. It was just kind of like, I'm of the mindset, like, don't talk about it, be about it, do it. Like, just if you want to do it, do it. Now, I do know that sometimes money can be an issue, right? I get that.
Of
But
course. Of course. Of course.
but at the same time, even if it's even if it's not, I think that where a lot of people go wrong is they want something, they don't do it, or they talk about it, but I don't know how much they really want it. You can talk about it all day, but how much do you really want it? And so, like, I think if there's one thing the film stuff has given me, regardless of if it's, it is to prove to myself, like, I can, like, do whatever I put my mind to. And that is, I think, a very strong skill. Once you unlock that, then it, like, cause it's helped me with business. It's helped me with pretty much everything, to where, it's just kind of like, I don't like feel like a Jedi or anything, but it's just kind of like you unlock this piece of your mind that you, like, trust yourself.
No, bro. No, don't sell yourself short, man. That is like some Jedi shit you were kind of saying. I never thought about putting it like that, but it is kind of because, I mean, you know how little of the brain we use.
Right.
So who's to tell you that that isn't a part that you didn't, or you weren't using, and you
Right.
you found it, and now that's just opened up so much. Because when you were saying that, dude, I was like, that like that positive thinking, that seeing what you want to create in your mind, seeing yourself doing it,
Yep.
seeing the end result, and that feeling of that end result of it going well. Yeah, man, it's real. It'll help. Of course, you got to do the work, like you said,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know
I
what I
mean,
mean. It starts there too.
it's huge, because I think, and it, like, we said therapeutic a few minutes ago. I mean, it kind of is on that level too, but like like the mind is the most powerful muscle, and it's the most incredible gift that anyone's ever been given, is the mind and what it can do. I mean, if you look around technology, just everything that all came from minds, somebody's mind,
Right.
right? So there's people that don't use their mind, right? And there's people
Right.
that do. And one of the things that it helps with too is you start looking at dramatic situations and things differently, where you're like, kind of like, well, what is the drama here? And all we need to do is this, if we really want to fix it, right? Because some people don't want to
Right.
fix things, right? So it just kind of helps you put up a force field a little bit of, like, what you're willing to deal with and what you're not. And yeah, man, it's been it. I didn't think it would ever be like that. I thought it would just be like, oh, I like to be funny. I'm funny. I can write. Let's do comedy.
Right.
And then it just became this other thing of like, wow, man, this is like, you're capable of a lot more than you think.
Right. 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 You kind of like box yourself in without knowing you're boxing yourself in, so to speak. You know what I mean?
1,000%. And I know a lot of people that do, and a lot of people in the film industry that do that,
Mm-hmm.
that have an idea, or they write it, or it's, my brother will do this, and he was in the assistant with me, and he'll talk to me about an idea, and I'm always just like, just write the idea. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't talk, like, not that I don't want to hear it, and I can help with it, but also just write it. So then if you write it, then we can kind of work backwards, right? Now you have it
Right.
written. Now we can work on the logistics. But if you're talking to me about an idea, like, we gotta flip it. Let's do it, and
Yeah.
then they'll work back, not the other way around.
Right. 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 So I gotta ask you about the poster, man, sitting over your right shoulder there. Okay. I saw some
Absolutely.
stuff. Yeah, I want to talk to you about that film, bro. That's you, right?
Yeah. Yep. That's me. I had to
Yeah, yeah. Tell me about
I
that.
had
Tell me about
I had to put on like 20 pounds to I mean I didn't have to, but I just in my mind was like, this coach is like in his 40s, maybe like mid
right,
whatever, and I needed to put on some weight to look older. And
right.
so this character, essentially, this is based off of my dad, and I've been doing like
Right.
a bit about my dad forever. He's super country. He's like, hey man, talks like, you know what I mean. He's real, like real country. We did this play or not play, sketch show 2 years ago called Texas High School Football, and
Right.
originally these people came to some comedians came to me. They wanted to do a show. I started doing this at the bar. We were drinking, and they were just like, oh my god, that's it. And they were like, let's do a show about high school, about a coach. And it became like the most successful show that the comedy house had ever had. Like we were selling out, and people were coming up to me like, you have to do something with this character like this. That
Right.
was like, dude, that's my football coach. That was my coach. That was,
Right.
so I was like, all right. And so I wrote the pilot, and we ended up filming it. It took about a week to film. We got Brad Leland in it, who he plays the booster in Friday Night Lights, both the show and the movie. We got him to be the booster's dad, so there's a little homage there. And it's good, man. We've gotten it got into Dallas International Film Festival. It won
Mhm.
the People's Choice Award. Um, but you know, it's weird. Like I during this whole time, I could have written out more, and because we've been trying to pitch it to Netflix and stuff. Um,
Mhm.
but I as I love the character, it's really easy for me to do. I love it, but like I don't know, something about like I really love it, but something about it was a little off in the pilot to where I'm like trying to regather. Do we really want to do this? And I think it's a good show. People would love it. People love sports. People love
Right.
a lovable loser, dumb, coach that you're kind
Right.
of cheering for. People like
Mhm.
that. Um, it's kind of one of those like as 2020 has been going on, with everything. Like man, it was a weird year of like, A, do you even film anything right now? Because it might look bad. B, like nothing was really
Right.
funny or inspiring. There was a lot of stuff that it was almost like all this stuff needed to happen to get some shit out so we could then, repair it. So it was just kind of like, man, this is not the right time. I don't know to do that. But then again, maybe the coach is exactly what the people need, somebody to
Right.
somebody to root for. But yeah, man, that was the biggest budget, biggest thing that we had done. And it was fun. But it's not my favorite though. I some of the other stuff that we've done, I think I like more. No Days Off is actually probably my favorite, and it actually, funny story, it got banned by Amazon Prime. So um,
Really?
yeah, I mean it's World War II, soldiers, German
Oh.
implications, but it's really about them.
Oh.
It's
Okay.
about them
Okay.
hating their job and talking shit about it and talking about skipping the job to go drink. And
Right.
so it's nothing offensive, but just implications, And I mean, but we did it. We pulled
Right.
it off really well. But I like to push the envelope a little bit, and that's what I think the difference is between that. That's more like you know, uh, stupid like fart jokes or whatever. But I'm a little bit
Right.
like to do more smart comedy and like take a serious situation and flip it to where you watch it and you go like, dang, like I just watched a thing about two Nazis and I didn't even think about them being like that. I just was laughing at
Right.
them. Like they, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
spin
Yeah,
stuff.
like that other stuff is like more slapstick, is what you're saying, and
Yeah, like
this
this
you want to
is
be
this is
more
like slapstick, and I like to do a
funny.
little bit more like I like to do like satire. Like The Assistant is
Yeah. Yeah.
about a social media influencer with an assistant. Like it's ridiculous, right? But I mean, we're
Right.
kind of at that place,
Right.
Friend Hunter was about it was a spoof of the show Mindhunter, about Ted Bundy just being too charismatic, and the asshole cop ended up being his best friend in it. In Killer Friends is about two hitmen arguing about 90s sitcoms on their way to do a job. So just like to do like different stuff like that. And I don't know what else is out there, but one thing I do know is a lot of times when people watch the movies, they're like, man, that was too short. Like I wanted more, and I like that. I'd rather leave people wanting more
Right.
than
Give them too much.
than being bored or being like,
Hmm. Yeah, I learned in the podcast game too, man. Like, I kind of went quick, and I talked to so many people, and you gotta you can't drop an episode every day type thing, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta, and I think that was maybe one of the things that I had to learn the hard way is we did 4 films in 4 months, and we were dropping them, and it's kind of like I didn't give each of them enough time to breathe. You got to let it
Yup.
breathe. You got to let an episode breathe. You got to give people a chance to go listen before you hit them with another.
Right, and then
you gotta leave the quarterback in a little bit. Let him take some hits.
Right, let him get his rhythm.
Right. Can't pull him. You can't just pull him like that. So yeah, I sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, I mean, I think that's one thing that it's tough to. It's not really taught, right? It's no one teaches people in this business to let things breathe, because it's kind of like one of those where you get a little anxious and you just like, oh well, I just want to get it out or whatever.
Bro, I got episodes in the chamber, and I want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when I have like this one, this is good. This is good stuff we're talking about. I think people are gonna want to hear and drop it like now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's so hard.
It's like a great musician or hip hop artist or like someone like Prince or whatever. You find out later they had all these tracks that you were like, what the heck? Like you didn't. And it's like, yeah, man, like you have a bunch, and some things you're like, you don't know if it's ready. Some things are more personal to you. It's I think having stuff in the chamber, man, that's a good problem to have. That's a better problem than just putting it all out there. I found out the hard way. It's almost like I overwhelmed people, I think, with too much, to where it's like maybe I should have done a movie every quarter, like every 3 months.
Right.
Even maybe even 1 or 2, and saved a couple. But it's the one thing I will say though, sometimes with comedy and with me, I almost want to do it because I'm like, what if somebody else puts out the same idea? Then now it looks like you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. I know it's hard to sit on your work, isn't it?
Yeah. It's and I'm somebody, dude, I'm the most impatient person. If I want something, I want it right now. I want you to I want you to see it right now. I want you to hear it. Like, so, it's an interesting battle to try to discipline yourself to like just chill, let it breathe, and then know when to hit. So yeah.
It's kind of like the Facebook algorithm, man. I've learned so much about that here recently, and it's like you post something and get maybe till like 3-4 days later, but you're not thinking like that. You know what I mean? Even a week later, like depending on their Facebook activities, some people don't get on, but maybe 3-4 times a week. You post on Monday, they may not see it till Saturday because they don't really get on and it doesn't come up. You know what I mean?
Yep. And they have, they have those posts where they show you the best times to post.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It, I kind of think it's like, well, either, follow that or just put it out there and just, if you get a few likes. I mean, I will say for the most part, people, especially with people will like something that's like, if you have a baby or whatever, if you put out personal work, a lot of times people don't like it, and you just have to, at some point you have to be like, fuck it, man. Like you can't, like, not everyone wants to see, people's success or dreams or whatever. They want to see ass pics and babies and dogs.
They don't want to see you, or they don't want to see you doing better than they possibly are right now. You know
Never.
what I'm saying?
So
Or you're doing something that they do.
right. So, I just when I first was put, I was like, dang man, like we're doing big stuff and like people care, but like then some of the people that you would think or would want to care don't care.
Yeah.
And I think what I had to like, what we had, I had to train and it's the same with the podcast. This happens all the time with the podcast. I like, we'll put out stuff and like, and it's good quality and people don't listen. Then some do. And what I had
Right.
to switch my mind was like, you know what? The people that do listen and that do fuck with us, those people, we need to embrace those people
Yep.
because those are your people that actually, even if you don't even know them, but like if you listen all the time, like, and stop trying to go after the people that don't, trying to like, hey, you're gonna like this, you're gonna like, because here's the deal, people are, people at the end of the day are kind of sheep, and if some big person posts it, then all of a sudden people get in. But that's just how people are. They don't take a risk on some do that can think for themselves, but a lot of times people won't jump in on something unless they see somebody else did. So now they go, oh, okay, now it's cool. So you just got, at some point, you got to be like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I know what I have is good, and we're just going to do it.
Yeah, do it, man. Put it out there. They see it. I don't care if they hit the like button or not, bro. They see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And like for those same reasons, they don't hit, they'll check that link. They'll go check. They're looking at your stuff. They may not be hitting like, because they don't want you to know they're looking at your stuff.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And the same for you with the podcast. Same for you. Like you like just keep doing it, because the only way to make it is to be consistent and do it.
Right, bro. That's right. That's funny you were talking about that just a second ago. I was literally one of the groups reading, someone asked like how's the best way to promote something to your podcast, and they were saying if you have a core of like 6 people that love your shit, fuck with those shit.
Yeah.
Like you were just a couple minutes ago. Like if you got 10 hardcore people, focus on them 10 hardcore people. When you post it, tag them 10 hardcore people so they know every single time. And you're the ones that are going to buy your merch. They're going to be the ones that are going to go to your concert or your film, whatever. So focus on them, like you said.
And they're going to be the ones that, and then they'll tell their friends, and then they'll tell their friends. And, I mean, it's kind of like, and I don't know, it's not a secret. We all know, like, there's the mainstream rapper or the underground guy, or the mainstream, there's the shows that are on ABC at 8, and then there's the comedy that's on HBO. You know what I mean? Like the
I got
that are made for everybody to like are generally like not that great. And even the person doing it probably doesn't even like it, but they just know that people like it. And it's always the person that is doing things for them and for their small people that at some point it'll take off, or if it doesn't, it's still perfect in that little. So you just gotta embrace your lane, really.
Right. So let me ask you this, man. You got any working on that you want to tell anybody about, or either that, or if there's something that you've already dropped since before you've been on here, you want to talk about?
Yeah. So I would encourage everybody, if you can, not to steal away from the podcast I'm already on, but check out I'll Have a Double podcast.
No, man, plug your shit, bro. Plug it all. Plug it all.
Check out I'll Have a Double. Check the pitch on YouTube. You just go in and type it in, and it's every Wednesday at 8:00. The podcast we usually drop. I think we're starting to move it to like Mondays to drop. We did actually a really funny music video that it was kind of a joke, and it's won a ton of awards, and it's made it into some big. In fact, it's in Nashville's music film festival. We did a spoof of Tiger King, and we did a spoof of his song "Here Kitty Kitty." I had my brother Daniel, who plays the assistant in The Assistant. He plays Derek. I had him sing it. I do a Tiger King impersonation, so I'm lip syncing, and then we had another guy who's the other tiger guy, and if you watch Tiger King, and then we had a
I
tiger.
do. Oh, I loved it, man. I loved it.
Yeah. It was the most fascinating thing I've ever seen. I couldn't
Yeah,
believe
and
there was
the
people.
timing they dropped that was perfect. They
Oh, dude,
dropped the timing.
they could not have picked a better time. And it's so crazy to
Nothing was
think back to when quarantine, like the first quarantine, like the whole world was watching Tiger. It was like the one thing that we've all agreed on. We were all watching it. Like,
Yep.
this is,
Yep.
everyone was like, dude, Joe Exotic is fucking nuts. I love this dude. Like, he
Yeah.
is nuts. He's not a good dude, but
Yeah.
at the end of
He's
the day,
entertaining.
at the end of the day, that Carol Baskin may have been a better, but the whole world hates her because you can't trust her. Look at her eyes and you go like, I know you did something. You did something. You could tell by her eyes. And
Yeah,
Joe
and the
was just
internet,
like,
bro, her fucking husband, he looks scared.
oh,
I don't care what
1,000%.
bro, he looks scared as fuck. I feel for that man. I'm worried for him.
He will get this, man. It's but Joe like just he spent his whole time he, was petty and going after her. But the thing is,
Yeah.
I think the thing that was funny about that show is you have one person who's spinning a narrative of them being a good person, and Joe is not a good person, and yet we just go like, yeah, but he's real. Like he's just
That's
himself.
what it is right there, bro. You nailed it. He's real. That's what people gravitate to. They don't like if you're a shit person and you can own it, like
People
they'll
love
gravitate toward that. Whatever you are, if you own that, if you're a nerd, fucking own it. If you're a gamer, fucking own it. Fucking own it. That people will embrace the fact that you're owning just whatever you are. I love people that do that, man. I walk out, I see people with that emo shit and the black stuff on, bro. I'm like, I wouldn't do it. I fuck with you because you had, that's you. That's how you feel. And you don't give a fuck. And that shit, and you know what I mean. I love people that like that.
Exactly, and I think that was a true, it was a like a psychological and philosophical thing when you put it together and you go like, yeah, well, maybe she was a good person, but like she's clearly fake. He was a shitty person. He was real, and we like real people. We don't like fake people. And now see it was what it was. But anyways, I would encourage people, go to my Instagram. It's at @bcraves, and you can see I did a bunch of impersonations of Joe Exotic in a music video, and it was fun. It was funny, good time. It seems like it was like 5 years ago, even though that was like back in like April. It just feels like, dude, like
at least feels last year at least.
Oh yeah, that like when like, man, this is gonna be the craziest New Year's ever. New Year's Eve, people are just gonna be, let's get the fuck out of here. God, can't wait for this movie. But you asked about what I have coming up. So we're in pre-production right now for a movie I wrote called Cake, and it's really like, I think so. So usually somebody will say something and I'll get fixated on it, and I wrote a movie around the saying, you can't have your cake and eat it too, because I feel like it's such a dumb saying. Like if you have your cake, you're gonna eat it. That's why you have cake.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It makes no sense.
But I get what it's saying is you can't have both. So
yeah, I get that.
So that's it, and it's about a guy who's not sure if he wants to take the plunge with his girl, and it's another kind of hitman. It's kind of, this is more like a Pulp Fiction type movie where the two hitmen driving to do a job again.
Yeah.
But the difference in this one, that I'll let the cat out of the bag for this, is that Juan, who I do a podcast with, he actually did some acting, and I thought, man, let's parlay this, and it'll be a short film comedy, but also you'll be the other co-star, and this will be the first time maybe it's happened before, but I don't know, the first time that a podcast has made a movie, right? Because it's kind of relevant in talking about stuff that we talk about in the podcast, which is a lot of relationships and dating type stuff, and giving men advice. Well, Juan usually does that because he's the married the married guy who's got wisdom, and I'm always just saying crazy shit, like people just want to have sex or this or that, unapologetically. And I mean, it's true, but like, so it's kind of a mix of that. And I thought, man, there's not a lot of podcasts that have, or there's no podcast that's ever done that, so we can use it to promote, but also it's a legit film. And we're just right now in the works of trying to cast a couple of big names to be in it and working out the budget. But we should be in production on that early Q1, and probably it would be out, I would say, probably by April.
Dope, man. Dope. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Everybody
So
definitely be on the look for that. Be on look for that. Go ahead. What were you saying?
no, that's it's one of those that, like, we were talking about working out before the show started, and I had not really done a lot of writing and stuff, and it's like, man, like, we had so much momentum last year, and we can only use the COVID excuse for so long. It's like, man, we gotta get back out there and put some stuff out and keep creating, because I think one of the things that artistic people like us,
Mm-hmm.
one of the gift that we have is the artistic creative side, and we need to create. We need to keep creating no matter what and put it out there.
Right.
I think it's the one thing that brings people together, is film and music and comedy and podcast and stuff like that. That's when that's how we'll change things. I think that through doing art, I think we can really change a lot of stuff, or at least we can call out a lot of stuff. We can voice a lot of stuff. I think that
At least start the conversation.
absolutely, and I think art has always been the avenue, because it's when you get people to really look at, because when you're talking, people want to talk back and this and that, but if you put it on the screen, people go, oh shit, wow, now I see
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Now I see it. Now I see it.
Right.
So, and I don't like to get deeper. I like comedy, but I also think, like, this year we might dive into some different stuff. I think we might, we might do some more, maybe serious, dramatic. I mean, there'll always be elements of comedy, but I think look out for 2021. We might switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, I definitely want you to come back, man. Before you drop something, man. Kind of.
Love it, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I love to come on and chat anytime, man. I like to talk. I like to talk about anything. Man, we can talk about, have me on, talk about sports, music, movies.
Yeah. Well, I
whatever.
definitely got to get you back on here before the or during, or definitely like before the playoffs if you want, man. We can talk about playoffs.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Down to talk about the Mavs. Down to talk about Luka. He's Luka's the brightest spot we have in Dallas sports right now. So
Yeah, he's the next face of the league, man, for sure.
he is, man. And I as much as I love the Cowboys, I'm like, what are we doing winning? What the hell? Why are we winning? What the hell? We need a higher draft pick. What are we doing?
Yeah, man. I wanted us to get that 2 or 3, man. Once Dak went down, I was like, all right, like fuck it. Let's go for 2 or 3 pick. You know what I mean? Get the number 1 traded. I don't care. But like, let's just call it a season.
Yeah, that was brutal. That was I think it was my birthday, and we were watching it. We were at a big thing watching it, and I just remember being like, this is like, everybody was just like heartbroken. It was like, this is just so, like, the dude is loved, man. That's like Dak, like, but I also told my buddy, I said, look, man, he's going to get a big contract because of this, because they're going to see how valuable he is while being gone
This year.
Like, sometimes absence, makes the heart grow fonder. It makes the wallet get bigger too.
Yeah, bro. You said something right there, man.
Yeah.
You said something right there. Man, I appreciate you coming on, bro. I'm gonna let you get up out. I know you're busy, man. Probably got a meeting with Scorsese or something when we get off here, man. This day's busy, man. So everybody, I want you to give it up, man. Show your love for Brent Crable, filmmaker, producer. I'm running out of things to call him. Jack of all trades, man. Y'all definitely go check him out. What was that Instagram handle again? At Brent Crable?
Yeah, at BCrabes, BCRABED. At Deep Bro Films on Instagram. At I'll Have a Double podcast, and at the Pitch Dating Show. Yeah, it's so much. Sometimes it's too much. But go to BCrabes and you can find everything else.
There you go. You go. Y'all know where to go check him out, man. Y'all definitely check him out. Appreciate you joining us today. Everybody, for Brent Crable. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, boy. I appreciate you, man. Hey, everybody, merchandise, it's out. We got shirts, we got hoodies. Check out the links. This is Brent Crable. I'm your host, Johnny Blaze, man. We will see you next time. Smash that like, hit that subscribe. Cloud Chronicles now on iTunes. See you later. Peace.
Boom.
Oh,